Taylor. Here lately you've been labeled the champion of the people. But I know the real you, Chris. You don't even know who you are. Congratulations. You're facing me, the Pembroke Pit Bull, for the WWP Triple Crown Championship on September 6th. Me and you both know how excited you are. See, about 4 or 5 years ago, Chris, weird, isn't it? Because 4 or 5 years ago, there was a young man named Chris. He wasn't quite TNT yet. As a matter of fact, he wasn't even a Taylor. He was Chris. I won't go too far, but he was Chris. And he was just starting this wonderful journey in professional wrestling. And he came up to me, he said, "Hey Baron, you're so great." And he blowed all these compliments and this smoke up my butt. "Would you please watch my match? Would you critique my match? Give me whatever advice." And I'd watch his matches and I'd critique him, I'd give him advice. And the next time I seen him wrestle, he implemented that advice and he kept getting better and kept improving. And then all of a sudden, this same Chris becomes Chris TNT Taylor. But that's not your name, isn't it? This same Chris would tell people, "I'm a Baron Bullard guy. Baron, you need to get these shirts made, brother. Thank you for everything you've done for me." And he would always come say, "Baron, will you watch my match?" And I did. He would seek out advice, and I would give it to him. Well, it's been pretty much well documented. Back in 2017, probably the worst personal year of my life. And I went through a little battle of depression and I got fed up. So I had made the conscious decision. 2018, it was a year I hung it up as a wrestler. I could contribute one way or the other to the wrestling business, but I was done wrestling in 2018. And August the 12th, 2018, my parents' anniversary, instead of hanging out with my parents that day, I drove all the way to High Point, North Carolina. And I told the promoter, "Give me Chris Taylor. I'm going to take my proverbial torch and I was going to stick it in his hand because he's the guy that could carry this here company." I was a heavyweight champion of that company, but I was done. And I said, "Chris Taylor, this is yours." On that night, your hand was raised, Chris. You didn't beat me. I'd already beat myself in 2017, and I was already out the door in 2018. I laid down for a simple little roll-up because I think, okay, Baron, everyone knows how wonderful you are mentally. Everybody knows the mind games you play. I said, watch me pull my greatest trick out. Watch me convince these fans this here is the guy. This is the guy that dethroned Baron Bullard. So I laid down. You rolled me up, Chris. 1, 2, 3. As a matter of fact, you probably got pictures that you hang up on your walls and show them to your wife and kids and say, "This is the day Daddy became the man." But look at those pictures. I was wearing an ugly blue singlet. I was wearing a t-shirt. I was in the worst shape mentally and physically in my life. I was out the door and I was giving you the torch. That was in one company. In WWP, I was preparing to let's give this torch to Bison, to Alton Calk. So on December 7th, I knew he couldn't be a killer without some motivation. So I faked an injury. I fooled everyone. I said, "Oh, he's going to be pissed off that I fooled him and played this game. So maybe he's going to get this killer instinct. He's going to carry WWP to a new pinnacle so I can get out the door. I'm fed up with wrestling. I'm tired." So what did I do? I destroyed his leg. to tear his hopes down. And then I released some of the pressure. I let Alton turn me into a sharpshooter. If anyone knows me, they knows I am a submission specialist. I know just about every single hold and reversal there is, and I let this guy put me in a sharpshooter. And if you've seen quickly, I tapped out as quick as possible because all I seen was the exit, and I'm finally out of this sick business. And what did I happen to see as I turned around to look back to try to fool these people that this here is a man that's taking over WWP. He's taking it to a new level. What did I see? I see Alton with snot in his nose and tears in his eyes holding a little girl. And I knew right then, WWP's not safe. This guy cannot carry my torch. And then I look back at you, Chris. You were doing pretty good for yourself. You was winning championships everywhere you went. But you were thinking, oh, the wrong people. You were thinking the fans, your supporters. You were thinking your wife, who had been by your side. You were thinking your kids, who were your inspiration. None of them ever gave you the advice in this business to do anything, Jack. So, all of a sudden they nominated you the champion of the people. Let's forget what I've done for WWP for 2 years. I let kids go with me to the ring and give them that hope that, hey kids, you can do this. You can be a star too. And then all of a sudden I went to hearing things like overrated. When they didn't know reality, I was sick to the core of these people that chanted Bison. Because Bison's out of here. He's gone. He's retired. He's never coming back. He didn't have that killer mentality. And then I looked at you, Chris. I built you up. I gave you advice. Now what is Chris TNT Taylor? I said, Chris, here's what you need to do to be a star in WWP. I got you to this level, kid. Let me tell you what you need to do next. I said, go get your red, white, and blue top hat. I know it's going to look ridiculous, but guess what? Those kids are going to cheer for you. They're going to go to their moms and dads and want to buy your merchandise. And if there's anything, money talks in professional wrestling. You sell the merchandise, you get on Pro Wrestling Tees, you get so many followers, and next thing you know, Vince is calling, Cody's calling, New Japan's calling, Ring of Honor's calling. I was trying to get you up the ladder, kid. And then, here's the grand thing. I stole ideas from my brothers. I said, Chris, go with your patriotic side. Because the reality of it was, you was wearing stupid little trunks everywhere else. You wasn't wearing the red, white, and blue trunks all the time. I said, go with your patriotic side. I got real soldiers in Team Pitbull. Shane Martin and Tracy Gilbert have served this country proudly in the military. Both of them have been in the Army. Sean Cruz, for goodness sakes, his whole gimmick was American tradition. He was all American, Mustang, Camaro, apple pie, and baseball, the New York Yankees. And I hand-delivered it to you on a platter. And then, when I realized Alton couldn't be my killer, you decided to try to step up on your own. You try to be the champion of the people. Well, now that we realize the champion is my personal little project, September 6th, Pembroke Middle. Arts and crafts time is over. Dad is tired of teaching his kids. This time, Dad's got to show his almost grown kid. You haven't quite graduated yet. I got to show him why. No matter where I've gone, before you get there, I've always been the man. I'm always the top dog. Now, Chris, I love you, son. And one day in the future, if Vince is smart, if Cody Rhodes is smart, if New Japan's smart, they'll be contacting Chris TNT Taylor, and they'll be seeing money in him. They'll make a star out of him. But the thing is, you tried to graduate a little too early. I tried to give you that paper. I tried to give you that diploma. And you wasted it. Now, September 6th, I'm going to expose Chris. Not Chris TNT Taylor, my creation. I'm going to expose Chris, the man who wanted to be a little bit something more. The guy that is a self-proclaimed Baron Bullard guy. The scared kid that needed advice. I'm going to teach you my greatest lesson come Friday. As a matter of fact, class will be dismissed when I see you September 6th.